Every year on the same date, a person you know does something quietly strange. Nothing. They do nothing. The day arrives, the day they were born, and they let it pass like a Tuesday. No plans, no fuss, and a small flicker of relief when it's over. If you ask them why, they'll give you an easy answer. I just don't care about birthdays. They're not a big deal. It's just another day. And maybe that's true. For some people, it genuinely is. But for a surprising number of them, that easy answer is covering something they've never said out loud, possibly something they've never even said to themselves. Because I don't like birthdays, and I don't know how to be celebrated sound almost identical from the outside. They are not the same thing at all. Here's how to tell the difference. Start with the obvious version, because it's real and we shouldn't pretend it isn't. Some people skip their birthday for reasons that are completely healthy. The day genuinely doesn't move them. They find forced celebration awkward. They'd rather not be the center of a room. For these people, ignoring a birthday isn't avoidance. It's just accurate. They know themselves, and a party isn't it. If that's you, nothing here is a diagnosis. Preference is allowed to just be preference. But there's a second group. And the second group says the exact same sentence. It's just another day, while something underneath it tells a different story. The way to spot the difference isn't in what they say. It's in what happens in their body when someone tries anyway. When someone remembers, makes a fuss, points a room full of attention at them, the first group feels mildly awkward. The second group feels something closer to panic. And panic is not preference. Panic is information. So where does that come from? Psychologists who study self-worth talk about something called deservingness. The quiet, mostly invisible belief each of us holds about how much good treatment we're actually owed. It's not something you decide as an adult. It gets set early, and it gets set relationally by how the people around you responded to your needs when you were too young to have any other mirror. A birthday is, structurally, a strange and intense event. For one day, a person is told, "Your existence is the good thing here. We are glad you were born. The attention today is yours." And to simply receive that, to let it land without deflecting it, you need a baseline belief that you are the kind of person a fuss is appropriately made over. If you grew up in a home where your needs were an inconvenience, where attention came with a cost, where being a burden was the worst thing you could be, then a birthday doesn't register as a gift. It registers as a spotlight you didn't earn and can't afford. And the safest thing to do with a spotlight like that is to reach up quietly and switch it off before anyone really looks. Cancel the party before it can be a disappointment. Skip the day before the day can skip you. There's a second layer, and it's quieter than the first. For a lot of people in this group, somewhere back there was a birthday that hurt. The party nobody came to, the forgotten date. The celebration that was technically held but felt obligatory, performed, thin. A childhood birthday is a kind of test a child never agreed to take. Will the people in my world show up for me? And when the answer comes back as not really, the child doesn't just feel sad. The child draws a conclusion, and the conclusion is brilliant in a heartbreaking way. If you stop wanting the thing, it can't be taken from you. If you decide firmly in advance that birthdays don't matter, then a birthday can never again be the day you found out you didn't matter. "I don't celebrate my birthday" becomes a kind of armor. You're not avoiding cake. You're avoiding the specific, remembered feeling of hoping for something and watching it not arrive. You got ahead of the letdown by refusing to be in a position to feel it. If any of this is landing closer to home than you expected, subscribe. The next video in this series goes straight into where beliefs like this one come from. But here's the part that's harder to hear. The armor works. That's the problem. It works so well that it stops feeling like armor and starts feeling like personality. You genuinely believe you're someone who just doesn't care about birthdays, and you can hold that belief comfortably for decades. Because you've never tested it. The avoidance is invisible to the person doing it. From the inside, protecting yourself from disappointment and genuinely not wanting something feel exactly the same. And that's the quiet cost. Not the missed parties. The fact that you may have a need to be celebrated, to be glad you exist, that you've spent years successfully convincing yourself you don't have. Now here's the part that reframes everything. In 2000, two psychologists, Thomas Gilovich and Kenneth Savitsky, named something called the spotlight effect. Their research showed that we dramatically overestimate how much other people are noticing and judging us. We walk around feeling watched, evaluated, too visible, and the truth is almost everyone else is far too busy feeling that way about themselves to be studying you at all. Sit with what that means for a birthday. The dread of being celebrated is built on a prediction. All that attention will land on me and expose me. But the spotlight effect says the prediction is mostly false. People don't show up to a birthday to evaluate the person. They show up because, for once, there's a socially approved reason to say a thing they don't usually get to say out loud. I'm glad you're here. The world is better with you in it. The person who can't celebrate their birthday isn't avoiding scrutiny. There was never going to be much scrutiny. What they're actually avoiding, and this is the real thing, is receiving love directly, with no task attached, no way to earn it, nothing to deflect it with. And that's not a small fear. For a lot of people, it's the hardest thing there is. So the question was, never really do you like birthdays? The question underneath it is, do you believe your existence is a good thing that other people are allowed to be glad about? And if the honest answer is not really, that's worth knowing. Not as a flaw, but as a place that's quietly been waiting for your attention. You don't have to throw a party. The work isn't a party. The work is much smaller and much harder than that. It's letting one person mark the day. It's not deflecting the next time someone says something kind. It's catching the old reflex. Don't make a fuss. It's not a big deal. I don't need this. And just once, not obeying it. You were born. Someone, somewhere, should get to be glad about that out loud. And the strangest, most important possibility is this. The first person who needs to be allowed to feel glad about it might be you. So tell me honestly, when someone makes a fuss over you, what's the first thing you feel? Warmth? Or the urge to make it stop? Be honest in the comments. The answer says more than you'd think.